Hi, it's Annie Mathias, and I wanted to share with you something that I was aware of as I was walking my dog early this morning. It was cold enough that there were long shadows, and I was wearing some warm clothes, and we walked in the quiet because it was still pretty early and nobody else was out. But I was aware that winter was beginning to break and leave, and spring was starting to come. And I was also aware of how creatively sometimes we go through a winter time, a time when there seems to be death of old things and we're waiting for that new life, the new springing forth. And as I walked along, I started to smell the fragrance of the citrus, like this beautiful lime tree behind me. And I began to think about how in our creative processes, oftentimes we move through these different cycles. People who are creative, they will move and grow and evolve as a creative voice from one thing to another. I might continue to do a similar type of work, but it's not always going to be the same as in mass production because the creativity continues to grow within me. And I began to think about how, just like winter, when things might go dormant, or perhaps there isn't a fresh idea, or it might just feel like, oh, what am I doing anyhow? Then that breath of springtime, when you first hear those birds in the morning, or you begin to smell the blossoms on the trees, or you begin to see that glint of green where there wasn't any. I know here, because of the heavy rains, we now have wildflowers that are starting to burst forth. And there's been some years where there have been no wildflowers, hardly at all, because the rains, they just never came. But this year, in the midst of flooding and a lot of different things, we did have rains and the wildflowers are bursting forth. And so it is with our creative processes. As we move along, it's like the seasons of the year, moving into springtime. So I hope you'll continue to tune in and see some of the things that are springing forth, if you don't mind the fun, springing forth from my heart as I move into the next cycle with my creative work. Have a great day, and please stop and smell the beauties of spring.